Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time I'm going to show you how to get your Garadget working with Google Assistant, and that starts now. Well, for those of you who saw my earlier video, you know how straightforward it was to get Garadget up and running just as standalone. So getting it to work with Google Assistant is equally straightforward. Now, it doesn't have native integration into Google, so we're going to use our old friend IFTTT. So that's really not a problem. I'm going to walk you through step by step and follow these steps, and unless a major change gets done along the way, then you should be ready to up and go. So let's switch over to that and we'll get started. Okay, so we're ready to go into IFTTT to do the integration between Garadget and Home Assistant, or Google Assistant rather. So we'll click on My Applets, and if you haven't already got an IFTTT login, go ahead and spend a few minutes and get one set up now. You can do this from either your phone or desktop. So to get the process started, we'll click on New Applet, and then if this, and what we'll do first is link up to Google Assistant, which we've already got authorized, and we'll say a simple phrase, and we will say open truck door. Now, as a feedback response, and you don't have to do this, we can have Google Assistant say opening truck door. And don't worry about capitalization. I don't know why I was doing it. And we'll click Create Trigger. Now, once we've told it the condition of what we want it to watch for, now we'll tell it what to go do. So this is where we'll get to Garadget. And you notice I just started typing the first few letters of it, and that brought it up. Now, since we don't have this already linked up to IFTTT, then we'll click on Connect. And since I have been already logged in through here, it's got my credentials already in there, so we'll just click Allow. And we're going to say Open Door. Now, if you had multiple Garadget devices, this is where you would be able to select it. Since I only have the one, then it puts that in there by default, and we'll click Create Action. And we're going to review it. So yeah, and that's okay. That's doing what we wanted it to do. Now, you don't have to have notifications turned on. This is good when you're initially testing it. But once you get it up and running, if you use it a lot, it may be more of an annoyance than a help. But you can leave it on for now. And then we'll click Finish. And voila, you've made a new applet. So we now need to do the other piece of it, which is telling it what to do about closing a door. So we'll click on New Applet again, and go bring up our good friend Google Assistant. Simple phrase, and this time we'll say close truck, if I can spell here, truck door. And we want Assistant to say in response, closing truck door. And we'll create the trigger. And then we'll actually go to a link to Garadget. Now, this time when we go in, it already knows that we've got the Garadget account associated with IFT. So we'll say close door. And by default, it's going to put if you got just a single opener, it's going to put that in. We'll click Create Action. And it's just simply reviewing what we've already put in there, and we'll leave that one running. And so now it's got the applet made. And you may or may not need the applet version ID. It's only if you get into a troubleshooting situation. So, and that's going to be the case if you have to get into the logs on IFT to see what's going on. Now, it is very straightforward, and I'm going to show you. I've already got Google Assistant up and running on my phone. Now, because I've got other Google devices nearby, I'm going to manually get this started. I'm going to tap on the mic, open truck door.
Open Opening truck door.
So, and if we switch over to the garage door app, or Garadget app rather, you can see it's an estimation of its actual progress, and that's a tweak that I do need to do to make sure that it is tracking accurate in terms of the amount of time it takes to raise and lower. But that's an issue that is easy to do. So now we'll go back into the Google app, close truck door.
Closing truck door.
And we'll go back over here, and we'll see with Garadget. Then you know we got confirmation that it is on the way down. And you can see all the alerts coming up on the phone now where I've got both Garadget and IF telling me what's going on, which in time I'll probably dial that back a bit. So that's going to be, it's more comfort factor. That way I've got diagnostics at each point in the process that I know when IF has gotten the command from Google Assistant, and then when I know when Garadget's gotten a command from IF. So it's handy in a troubleshooting process. Now, if you are using Android Auto like I am in the daily drive, I have noticed one thing, and that's it seems that Google Assistant takes a little longer to come to the forefront. Now, maybe because of when I'm out driving, I've got Google Assistant. I've got Android Auto running with Waze, so that I may be competing for some resources. Time will tell on that one. And besides, we all know we want everything now. We don't want to wait. There is one thing I want to make sure that I share with you. When you are going into the Garadget app, if you get an error message that doesn't make sense, what you'll want to go through and do is if you will go into, let's see, I've got to find, no. If you go down into the settings in the lower left-hand corner and under name, if it says garage or doesn't say anything, then that's why you're getting the error. So you'll just tap on where it says that, where it says the name of well, let me back up a step here. Where it says name, right up here, and then that will allow you to change the name that Garadget knows that door by. So that will take care of that one very quickly. And many thanks to for Garadget for reaching out to me on that one, because when I ran into that, because I thought it was probably something that I had not done correctly, and it was totally me, because that's one thing you'll find in any of the reviews or how I show you to do things. If I've run into a problem, my first line is, before I start saying, hey, I had this problem, you need to watch out for it, I first reach out to the company's support, because that's the right thing to do. In this case, it was something that I had not gotten done during setup. So, but that's a lesson learned. But, it is very easy to get it working with Google Assistant. Very straightforward. So of the different options, and so far along the way, well, you've heard me talk about Samsung SmartThings position sensor, and that's initially what I had on my doors for a while, to know if the door was up or down. Well, that was great, but it didn't let me have remote access to the door. Then I put in the Sonoff 4-Channel Pro. Well, that let me raise and lower, but I couldn't tell if the door was definitively up or down, other than by going back into the Samsung SmartThings sensor. So now we're starting to get to a point where I've got everything all in one package to where you can see what's going on, and it's very straightforward, very easy to set up. So we're going to be looking at one of the next videos. We'll be doing the Alexa integration. We've shown you Google. Then we're going to look at something called MQTT. And that's machine-to-machine transaction. It's like an ATM talking to the computer system, but your financial institution. Think of it that way. So it's going to allow us to tie it into Home Assistant. And I'm already looking at I found another way that should work. But this is the things I'll be going through in the background to show you all the different ways that you can tie Garadget in. But it's very straightforward, very easy to set up, and it's, at this point, everything I've seen, it's well worth the price. So that's something to say, because there's competing products out there, and at this point I've got no reason to look at anything other than Garadget. And I'm not getting paid to say that. Full disclosure, they did send me one to look at. But hopefully those of you who've watched my videos for any amount of time, if I don't like something about it, I either won't review it, or if it's something minor, I'll tell you about it, because folks, we all can tell when something's not good. Garadget, in this case, is one of the things that is well worth looking at. So I've got the step-by-step in the description on the video or on my podcast, depending how you're getting this, that walks you through step-by-step everything I did to get this up and running with Google Assistant. So that's just another resource for you to use. If you haven't gotten a Garadget or thinking about it, I've got an affiliate link also in the description. If you get one with that link, I get a small commission out of it. I really appreciate that, but I'm more concerned about you getting the right information and something that helps you make the decision that's going to be best for you. Well, we've got more videos coming. Thank you for everybody who's helped me get to 1,000, and now I'm over the 1,000 mark and moving onward and upward. Thank you again for everybody who's helped me get there. If you have anything you'd like to see me cover, please let me know. Also, if you would like to see a sample chapter from my first book, if you go to ronaldnutter.com/sample1, that will get you, you'll fill out a form, and then you'll get emailed a link to where you can download the sample chapter from the volume 1 of the book. And I'm working on stuff now in volume 2, and I'm already starting to kind of see where volume 3 may get picked up here at some point. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. I know there's a lot of things you'd be doing, but you're taking the time to watch my videos. Really, I do appreciate, and we'll see you next time.